Hello, tonight our lesson is on like terms. Here we have two algebraic expressions that each have three terms. Now, what we mean by a term, terms are elements in an expression that are separated by a plus or a minus sign. So here in the first expression we have the term 4x, we have the term 3x, and we have the term 2, and they're separated by a minus and a plus sign. And then our second expression, we have 5x squared, an x squared, and a 2x, and separated by a plus and a minus sign. All right, so when we talk about terms in an expression, we also talk about some of the terms being like terms. So look carefully at these two algebraic expressions. Notice that the top, 4x and 3x, are considered to be like terms, whereas 2 is not considered a like term. In the expression at the bottom of the page, 5x squared and x squared are considered to be like terms, where minus 2x is not considered to be a like term. So look at those carefully and think to yourself, what is it about those terms that makes them like terms? Okay, so here is the definition for like terms, and maybe you were able to figure it out from the previous slide. Like terms are terms that contain the same variables raised to the same power. So in that first expression we had a couple of x terms, so those were raised to the first power, they were considered like terms. In the second expression at the bottom of the slide we had a couple of terms with x squareds, those were considered like terms. The third term was only an x. All right, so here are a couple other things we need to know. Coefficients. Coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables of a term. So our term 10x, the 10 is considered a coefficient. The term 5y, 5 is considered a coefficient. And notice that coefficients are being multiplied by the variable. So 10x means 10 times x, and 5y means 5 times y. Here we have a minus 3. Now, a minus 3 is a number without a variable attached to it. So we call those numbers constants. And a constant could be any kind of a number. It could be a fraction, a decimal, it doesn't matter. Any number that doesn't have a variable, we call a constant. All right, so let's identify like terms. Here we have an expression. So we're looking for terms that have the same variables raised to the same power. So here I have an x squared. So I'm going to look for other x squareds. Here's one in the middle. I have a minus 2x squared. Now notice that the minus 2, that's the coefficient of x squared. So that sign, that minus sign, attaches to the coefficient. So I circled the whole thing. All right, let's look for some other like terms. Here I have a 3x, and way at the end I have a plus 1x. That's an invisible 1 in front of the x. And finally, I have a couple of constants. I have plus 4 and minus 10. So there are the like terms. How'd you do? Okay, in order to combine like terms, we simply add the coefficients together. And constants are considered like terms, and we just combine them together like normal numbers. So look at our expression. We have 4 terms. Let's identify the like terms. I have 12x, and I have 30x. I have a couple of constants. I have positive 5, and I have minus 4. So let's combine the like terms of 12x plus 30x. And again, we combine the like terms by adding the coefficients. So 12 plus 30, this is going to equal 42x. Notice how the x didn't change. 12x's plus 30x's gives me 42x's. And then the constants, 5 minus 4, that's positive 1. So that's it. That's the simplified expression. Okay, here's another expression. Let's simplify it. Let's identify our like terms. So here I have 6.8y squared, and then I have a minus y squared. That's invisible 1. Minus 1y squared. Notice that the 2y is not a like term because it doesn't have the same power. It has y to the first power, not y to the second power. So to combine my like terms, I go 6.8 minus 1. That's going to equal 5.8. And the y squared doesn't change. And then the 2y, I didn't have anything to combine it with, so it stays the way it is. And we can't combine these together again because they're not like terms. They don't have the same power. All right, let's do one more. Okay, let's combine our like terms. Let's simplify this. All right, here I have a plus y squared, and here I have a plus y squared. Here I have a minus 2y, here I have a minus 4y. And notice that the 4y cubed, there's nothing to combine it with. It's by itself. So that's not going to change. Let's combine the y squared and the y squared. What would that equal? That's right, it would be 2y squared. Combine the coefficients. Invisible 1 here, invisible 1 there. 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's 2y squared. Okay, what about the y term? What do we get? What's negative 2y minus 4y? Good, it's negative 6y. Okay, and that's it. That's our simplified expression. Thank you for listening. As always, don't forget, read some books.